Hey guys, Personal Defense, and I have my M&P 45 compact out today, which is empty. And I'm going to talk duty triggers. So the reason I have this out is my birthday was recently, and for my birthday my brother bought me a Apex Tactical Duty Enhancement trigger kit. And what that did, the install was a little involved, but what it did is it actually brought the trigger the break point down from about 7 pounds to about 5, 4.5, 5. But also what it did is it increased the resistance. So when you pull the trigger, it's actually more resistance to pull it to the break point, but the break point is not as hard. I mean, we all want a lighter trigger, right? But you don't necessarily, when you're carrying a pistol like I carry this pistol, you don't necessarily want a quick, boom, boom, trigger pull. That was a great sound effect, right? So what this does is it provides resistance. If you pull this pistol in defense or whatever, your adrenaline's pumping, and it's kind of like a revolver trigger. It's gonna provide a little resistance to the break point, but then the break point is easier. I really like the trigger pull. I really like the way it feels. This is the name of it right here, the Apex 45 DCA EK Duty Enhancement Kit. I highly recommend it. However, the kit, any Apex kit, actually any modification for an M&P is expensive. So any Apex kit is going to be expensive. I think he got it for about $80, $85. I've seen it upwards of $100. Okay, so I carry this pistol and I carry my Glock 22, and I've been looking for a nice trigger that now mimics that duty enhancement kit, and I think I found it, and I want to share that with you guys. I've done everything to this Glock as far as trigger work goes. I've polished some pieces. I've tried a competition spring kit. I've tried a 3.5 pound connector. I've tried everything, and I found kind of an unorthodox combination, but it actually works really well, and it doesn't mimic, but it's really similar to the trigger kit in my M&P, and I'll show you what it is. Basically what I did is I replaced the sear spring with a New York 1 sear spring, and I have a competition spring kit in here, and I have the Ghost Inc. 3.5 pound trigger connector. What that does is it provides pretty good resistance like I have in the M&P, and the break point is not as hard. So I'm going to show you real quick how to switch this out. The way I do it probably is wrong, but I just like to do it real quick. So once you get it apart, you want to make sure this trigger is back. You're going to pop this back pin out right here with your Glock tool. Take that pin out, make sure the trigger is back like I said. Then we're just going to pull this whole sear block out, sear block assembly, and kind of fold it out here, and then just bend it out. Now this is the connector right here, and I've done another video on replacing the connector and stuff, but this is the connector right here. What you do is you push on the back there, pop the connector out. So this is actually the Ghost Inc. 3.5 pound connector in here, and if you've never seen a New York trigger spring, what it looks like is this. It sits in there like that, and it actually pushes on it like this, so it provides resistance. Here's the spring here that I took out of it. What this is doing is providing resistance. These were made for when police officers made the transition to Glock from revolver. They weren't used to the trigger pull on it. So this provides resistance and is similar to a revolver trigger pull. So this actually does the opposite of what the spring does. This actually pushes it apart, giving your finger resistance when you pull it. So you can see the New York trigger spring right there. So when you pull the trigger, see it provides resistance there, where normally there would be a spring in between here pulling that together. Now what it's doing is providing resistance. But we have the lightened connector from the factory Glock 5.5 pound to the ghosting 3.5 pound. So the combination of the resistance here and the lightened trigger pull along with the spring kit is very similar to the M&P, and it's just an amazing trigger, I think. If you carry this, I'm not talking about for competition, whatever you're going to do. I'm talking about for carry. I think it's a great trigger pull. So I think this connector is $20 or something, and you can get that New York connector for probably about $15-20. So if you want to spend about $40, keep in mind the duty enhancement kit for the M&P was double that. If you want to spend about $40, it's a great investment in a trigger pull. I suggest you try it on any Glock that you carry, and I think you'll like it. So, thanks for watching.